Imaginary world. The imaginary world, William Powell.
Mr. Contest Chair, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests. As a child, I often played in my imaginary world with my imaginary friends. And as an adult, I find that in my mind, I still continue to play in that same imaginary world with those same imaginary friends. And now some, if not all of you, are thinking right now, he needs professional help. And that's easy for you to say as you laugh at the thought of me wrapped in a straitjacket, being carried away. But what you don't understand is that my reality and the reality of countless others like me is pain. Pain from the death and destruction that I've been a personal witness to my entire life. And if you were to ask me, then I would tell you, I can count my high school friends on one hand. And it's not because I was a bully, antisocial, or homeschooled. It's because the rest are gone. Gone from our reality where I've been to more wakes than birthday parties, and more funerals and graduations. And as I'm trying to figure out who's to blame, I'm constantly mourning the death of my fallen peers, while watching their kids grow up and hearing their mothers curse them by saying, "You're going to be just like Father." And although I feel cursed, I'm still blessed because I'm able to escape to my imaginary world just like that. And now the choice is yours. You can either stay here in the midst of this madness, or you can come with me. Hurry up and decide, because I'm leaving here in a moment. In my imaginary world, a little 8-year-old girl says, "Daddy, I'm going to be the president when I grow up." And when she grows up, she actually becomes the president. Totally instilling in all the kids coming up after her that you can truly be whatever it is you want to be. In my imaginary world, as I'm being pulled over by the police, my only concern is being late to where I'm headed. As the police officer approaches my car, I quickly reach for my license and registration. He pulls out his gun, points it at me, and pulls the trigger. And bubbles shoot from his gun. The police officer yells, "Gotcha!" and then sprays me with shaving cream as we both laugh and give each other a high five and go our separate ways. In my imaginary world, when I arrive home to my family and my son sees me covered in shaving cream, the first thing he says is, "Dad, were you caught speeding again?" In my imaginary world, as I'm crossing the street at a red light, I make eye contact with a driver who looks nothing like me. And instead of that driver locking his door, for fear I might attempt to take his car, he unlocks his door, steps out his car, and yells, "Hey, do you need a ride?" I explain to the kind stranger that I'm merely headed to the corner store to get a cold Pepsi, and it's not that far. "Well, do you have enough money?" he replies. I smile and nod yes as the stranger returns to his car and drives off, but not before beeping his horn. I throw my arm up, signaling goodbye. In my imaginary world, I'm surrounded by people that don't look like me. They don't act like me. And they don't talk like me. But at the end of the day, they're my friends. And I meet with these friends twice a month. And when we make eye contact, the first thing they say is, "It's nice to see you again." And I can tell by the twinkle in their eye that they mean it. In my imaginary world, you're never profiled by the color of your skin, the religion you practice, or your social status. You're merely evaluated. Using the sandwich method, of course. I'm often confused because my Toastmasters world and my imaginary world, they tend to be one and the same. Maybe I should get out more. And the reason I say that is because I've always imagined standing where I'm standing today. And the only reason I'm here is because throughout my life, when the world was as cruel as it could possibly be, there were people that gave me hope and encouraged me to never give up. And most of them, they didn't look like me. They didn't act like me. They didn't talk like me. But look at me now. Taking home a trophy today is not what will make this a winning speech for me. What will make this a winning speech for me is when I ask, who is willing to step out of their comfort zone and make a difference in someone's life? And every hand in this room goes up. And now I promise you that by making that difference, you will make someone else's imaginary world their reality. So now I'm asking, everyone over here, raise your hand and keep them up if you're willing to make a difference in someone's life who doesn't look like you. Everyone over here, raise your hands and keep them up if you're willing to make a difference in someone's life who doesn't act like you. And everyone in the middle, raise your hand and keep them up if you're willing to make a difference in someone's life who doesn't talk like you. Today,